Evening, folks. Welcome to an instant reaction. I'm going to try and be really upbeat tonight, but I've got a stinking cold, and I'm not going to let that goal they scored knock the stuffing out of me. But Dave, I felt it was a little bit flat in that ground at the end. It sounded, but we should be buzzing, shouldn't we? 3-1, first leg of the semi-final.
I was boiling some eggs at half time, getting the celebrations going on a Friday morning. And I can confirm I don't have a hangover this morning whatsoever, just to be clear. Yeah, a 3-1, but it's just that back of your mind, that nagging doubt, that feeling of, oof,
could we have done it? Come on.
I know.
Oh, right. So obviously we can get into it. I didn't think Bodo were that great. I didn't think Stuttgart were that great. I think there's
Frankfurt.
Who did I say then?
Stuttgart.
Sorry, I didn't think Frankfurt were that good either when we played them. They were made out to be great. I think a little bit with Bodo as well. When we go there, obviously it'll be on that AstroTurf 3G, 4G, whatever it is pitch. But we got off to a flyer, mate, didn't we?
Boris
put one in. Johnson scored. What was it? 37 seconds, something like that. And then we took him off then, didn't we?
That's his. That's his 17th goal of the season.
Yeah,
17. Yeah. What a player! 17th goal of the season.
And I don't blame Ange for bringing him off straight after the goal and wrapping him up in cotton wool because he's scoring the goals, isn't he? Give him a rest.
I bet you worked on that line during the game, didn't you? I bet you tried it out on Zach, didn't you? I bet you did.
Mate, no, to be fair, we have these conversations during the game. But look, let's not get into that, Dave. Great start. Porro involved. Excuse me.
What did you think of the team? What did you think of the team, though? What do you think of the team he selected?
Defense, yeah. Goalkeeper.
Well, that writes itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Goalkeeper writes itself. Bentancur, yes. Madison.
Basuma.
I think he has been poor, but I'm not as down on Basuma as lots of people are. I think in the right conditions, in the right team, with the right sort of.
You mean the championship? You mean?
No, I think he's half decent. I think he's just. Don't get me wrong, he hasn't been great, but I think we've moved on from Højbjerg, and now Basuma's the new Højbjerg, isn't he? But obviously, I thought he was half decent, and then up front, Richarlison works hard, doesn't he? That's why I thought he'd put him in, give us a bit more of a physical presence. And Johnson, I always thought he'd play Johnson because he scores goals for him. Mm-hmm. What about you? I mean, obviously, you didn't want to see Basuma play, did you? Would you have preferred Sarr in there?
So you're less harsh on Basuma than you are on Johnson, which is interesting because I think Basuma's crap.
Basuma doesn't get the goal. Obviously, he doesn't get the goals and stuff, but he doesn't get the plaudits Johnson does. And I get why Johnson gets what he does because he scores goals. But
correct.
I don't think he's a very good player. But I've said that, we don't want to get into that, do we? Because that's a discussion for another day. But that's my stance on him, and it has been for a long time. But he put the ball in the back of the net when we needed him to. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Matt, I thought we had a lot of possession, didn't we? They didn't really have any shots in the first half, and then Maddison. What did you think of Maddison tonight? Obviously, he's gone off injured. That didn't look great to me. As soon as he went down like that, I put in our group, we won't see Maddison till at least the final now.
That is not great because he is, that's not great. But I thought, he did well. He did what he needed to do. He was creative, etc., etc. But as Kavinsky says, is that Bodo 51 possession. And then our possession dropped after Maddison went off. I definitely think we lost some impetus when he went off. That's for sure. I think Cooley did all right when he came on.
Cooley, he's not fully at it yet, is he, mate? Cooley.
But Kavinsky was not happy with Cooley. Yeah,
Yeah, if Kavinsky, I mean, that's towards the end. We've got other parts to talk about. But I was just sat there with Zach when Kulu did that at the end, and we got into a few other good positions like that. But the final ball or the finish is just, it reminds me, I thought we were obviously the better team, but those sorts of finishes, just, they absolutely smacks of a team that are just not sort of at it, are they? Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't get, they were talking in the commentary about, Sam Matterface saying, I think Tottenham has struggled in the Premier League and that because of the physicality and obviously in Europe, the refereeing is a little bit more sort of, you get and that more. But I just watch Spurs and I think, don't get me wrong, you still got to beat them. AZ, no, I don't think they're a good team. Frankfurt, massively overrated. And I don't think Bodo glimpsed that well. So we've got a really good opportunity and we should be able to get to the final. But I think we've made it tough for ourselves, haven't we?
Well, it's a Tottenham way, isn't it? I mean, we were 3-0 up, right? We were coasting it, right? And it was just a bit of a silly goal to give away, right?
Yeah.
And they did have a good chance. They did have one other good chance.
Yeah.
As well.
They had one at the end of the first half, didn't they, where we sort of switched off a bit. But Dave, don't you think like they did come into the game a little bit more? But what I'm saying is it was at 3-0. You know what it's going to be like over there. There's always a chance that they're going to score against us because of how we defend, really. We always let a goal in.
It's who we are.
Yeah, but I sort of felt that we got in a few really good positions to seal it, to clinch it, but we just don't look convincing in those areas.
No. I mean, after Johnson got taken off after his first goal, there was a gap there, wasn't there? In terms of who's going to finish it.
Yeah, and Zach said to me, like, we're watching it, and he said to me, I can't see how Mikey Moore doesn't get as many minutes. I don't see that Odegaard is any better than him. And I tend to agree with him.
So does Kavinsky.
If Mikey Moore, well, I don't think either of them. I don't think there would have been that much of a difference. But we've got. I mean, Dave, this is what I said. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But I think we've got to be like, we should be buzzing. We should be positive, really positive about everything. Yeah, I felt when the final whistle went. Obviously, I'm not in the ground, so if anybody was, they can let us. But I felt that the atmosphere of the fans was a bit like 3-1 now. You wouldn't instead of like 3-1. Come on, that's it. It's like
it was like as if the trumpet player at the end was like that. You know what I mean? That's a trombone, but anyway. It's like the drummer. It's like the drummer had lost one of his sticks, and he was just going like that.
Yeah, but like we spoke before, and we said that just feels like the psychology at Spurs at the minute. The biggest worry for me now is we go there with a couple of injuries.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say probably now.
Solanke, is he injured?
Three big injuries because I think Bergvall. There's more to that than they say.
I mean, he's on crutches.
Yeah. Maddison and Solanke. Solanke's always going to get him because he's just up there to run, isn't he?
But he's up there we don't have anyone else who can keep the ball up top in an away game, right? Yeah. So if he's injured, we're screwed because Richarlison.
It'll be
Richarlison can't do it. Son can't do it. Do you see him on the bench tonight, Sonny?
Oh, sorry, mate. My dog's going mentally. I think like you're probably going to have to. When we played Forest the other night, we just put balls in the box. And Richarlison missed a few, but he looked threatening.
Yeah.
So I honestly do think that that's going to have to be the way to go over there.
Yeah, but the thing is, but hang on a second, because you had against Forest, you had Tel and Odegaard who were just beating the players and getting loads of crosses in, and Solanke sat there on the bench going, "I've been waiting for this all season." And then tonight he's in the team and he's got Richarlison on the left. He did put in some decent crosses first half, but he's not a beat a man to the byline and get a cross in.
No.
And then obviously you've got Brennan who got taken off after the first minute.
After 37 seconds, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
what were your thoughts on Bodo then, mate? What do you think to them? I know
Well,
they're
I mean,
missing a massive chunk of their team.
they missed 3 of their best players. Excuse me for yawning. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. They missed 3 of their best players, and they've gone away with it for 3-1. And that could cause us a bit of a problem, really. And that I'm just a bit worried because it's that artificial pitch, it's the Arctic Circle. Their coach is in court this week he's accused of stealing a mackerel out of the Arctic Circle because he could go to prison like the Zagreb coach.
Mate,
So
we've got to be better we got to be better there than we were against Tamworth, surely.
Well, I don't know, mate, because Tamworth was pretty bad, wasn't it? And I'm just worried that that goal is so. I'm not using the word, but it's so Tottenham, right? We're 3-0 up. I've already sorted out. I've got the planning permission application for the old the porter cabin for our special show in the car park in Bilbao. We're ready to go. I'm ordering the paella. I'm going to have a bit of tapas today.
Mate,
that goal that goes in, it's just that, and it was, and the way it went in, it was
I just find it utterly ridiculous that we've just won 3-1 at home, and we go into a semi-final second leg 3-1. We should be thinking we can go out there and score. They might score, but so can we score. Sorry, and we should be thinking, 3-0 would have been better, but 3-1, and everyone should be buzzing. Yet you get the feeling that everyone's like, oh god, 3-1 now. How it's and it's just like. What I know we've always had that thing with Spurs, but what is like the come up is pathetic. It's utterly pathetic. This is what Big Angie's Tottenham are. You just can see them going over there.
Hang on.
You can see us going over there, the arse cheeks parting, and say, have your way with us.
Oh, here we go again. The orange Undertaker.
Yeah.
Don't you believe in the project?
No. No, I don't believe in him, and I don't believe in the project. Even if he wins this cup, I think he's truly awful.
It's stunning. It's stunning the expectation that you have that we're 3-0 up and then it's 3-1, and your expectation is that we might lose this because of orange.
There is an expectation that we might lose it. In my head, I'm thinking top team is thinking that's 3-1 now. Go away. We got to sort of keep it tight, try and nick a goal if we can.
Yes,
but
this is the European second tier competition, my friend.
Yeah, yes, yeah. But
this is where we are. This is where we are. This is who we are.
Bodo Glimt are a good team, mate. I think that on their day they're a good team, and they've proved that But with the score standing as it is, we should be going over there fully confident,
right?
But
okay, but
I think we still should, Dave, because I called a Spurs Man United final.
Yes,
yeah. And
Steve believes in the orange project, don't you? He's fully behind him.
Yeah, I think I've always fancied us to get there, mate. Well, I'd rather have played Bilbao, but I think we'll play United in the final.
He's the first Australian coach to take a club side to the second leg of a European semi-final cup competition. Did you know that? I
couldn't care less what he does.
Did you know that? He is the first. No. This is a proud day for Australia.
I don't want to hear him talk. I just want him to get on with what he's got to do.
If we win,
there's noticing.
There's a general election this weekend in Australia, right? If we win Europa, the new Prime Minister will declare a public holiday for Orange, for Orange, for the first Australian coach.
Let's talk about your mate, though. Playing well, looking solid.
Who
decides to put the chokehold on someone towards the end of the second half and get a yellow card?
Are you talking Athletic Madrid's new signing?
Who? Your mate Cutie, whatever they call him.
Cutie. I mean, did you see it in the huddle before the start of the game? That rousing warm up, the rousing kind of rev up he did. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, no, that was Maddison because he's bothered he speaks English. Romero hasn't bothered after 4 years.
Romero probably effed and jeffed a bit.
Yeah, Romero did. You know, he did a lovely diagonal pass that not nearly got caught.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve. It's 84. I was there. Sorry, Steve. Yeah, Romero was all right, but you know, this is probably. I think he's aiming to have to be sent off against West Ham for violent misconduct,
So we don't have to play no more league games.
There's to play more league games. That's what he tried against Forest. I thought he was going to go down the mysterious injury route. It's quite obvious that his plan is to get sent off.
Suspended.
And
yeah,
there we go.
Year.
But actually, he got thwarted against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play, so maybe Orange won't play him in against West Ham on the weekend. So yeah, Romero.
Mate, I know we've won tonight, and it's all about the cup. But can you imagine West Ham beating us?
Well, they will
and overtake us.
Well, it's the battle for the bottom plate. It's the battle for London's wooden spoon. Yeah, it's a battle for London's wooden spoon. The lowest we will finish in the Premier League London club since 2003. 2004. What a great season that was when we were 3-0 up against City in the Cup, lost 4-3. So look, okay, let's go through the Vicario did all right tonight. Porro did it was fine. Destiny did well. It was fine.
I thought Porro was decent.
Yeah, he did well. But the defenders did well. Basuma, he's just not good enough.
Mate, Basuma didn't have a terrible game. He faded a bit towards the end, but I thought he started off well. We were better first half, weren't we?
He got a message that his balloons have been inflated in the dressing room, so he's going to have some fun with the balloons tonight. Yeah. He loves a bit of balloon action. He'll get on the balloons with Smarty Artie and the other kids' entertainers. And then you got Bentancur. I thought he did all right.
Yeah, tidy enough.
You know? Yeah, Maddison we've talked about.
Good goal by Maddison. Pretty integral to what we were trying to do. Boris might have only played a minute, but he scored.
Yeah. I mean, so I think someone was saying that Tell was rubbish.
I mean, he did all right, didn't he? But, you know, that 50 million price tag is looking ridiculous, isn't it? You know, I know we haven't paid it, but
I'd offer 55 million.
I don't dislike him. I think there could be a player there.
Do you like him?
I think we could spend. I think that money could be spent elsewhere. I think.
What about Brian and Bueno? Surely we're going to be in for him over the summer.
Yeah. Well, isn't he in the last year of his contract?
Yes, sure. He'll definitely want to come to us.
Yeah. Well, we might look at him, haven't we? But I mean, Odebeck, come on, didn't really do a lot. Kulusevski, I thought Kulusevski looked a bit leggy.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with Steve here. We did miss Bergvall.
Energy.
Yes, best player, really.
I mean, who would have been your man of the match tonight then, Dave?
Probably, that's quite a tough question to ask.
Oh no,
really.
That's what I'm looking for. Real standouts.
I would say Maddison, Porro, Destiny, definitely not Romero.
Solanke. I thought Solanke worked hard, got into good.
He always works hard.
So these. From what you've seen, then, what are you thinking of these injuries? Did they look? I mean, I thought Madders went straight for his hamstring, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did.
So
I think we got
minimum 3. Yeah, that's a minimum 2-3 weeks. I don't think you'll see him play.
I don't think we're going to see him until the European Super Cup final against Arsenal.
And Solanke, what do they reckon all that was about?
I don't know. I mean, I had. The only commentary I've got on the co-commentary I think I had the Chief Effa Nakoku.
Yeah.
And someone else who was slagging off Tottenham the whole time, which makes a change. Kavinsky here. I hope Son is back for the Bodo game. We need him back. Do we? Really?
Well, one thing I think, I've not been Son's biggest fan, and I'm not sure how well he'll play out there, but I think people like you don't deserve Son. No, I think I'd have preferred to see him on the left tonight in that game.
Yeah,
with some of the space he could have got into.
Yeah,
yeah.
But maybe obviously, we're saving him for The Arctic Circle, and considering that he's done conscription and would have been used to night manoeuvres in cold conditions, I think he could be
Yeah.
perfect for the game.
Let's hope. I mean, next Thursday we'll be put out of our misery, won't we? Wait, we'll find out about Madison and I mean.
So when you hang on a
and
second, when you say we're going to be put out of our misery, what does that mean?
Because we'll know if we're there or not, won't we?
Well,
it's like now it'll be. What I'm saying is now we'll have that week of going 3-1. We're going into the second leg 3-1 up, and then 2 minutes later you'll go. We're going into that semi-final, that second leg only 3-1 up.
Well, what if we make one of our? What about if we make one of our typical starts to an away game and let in a goal within about a minute?
Yeah, that.
We let in a goal within like the first 5 to 10 minutes. It's not going to work out well, is it? They're best players.
We could see them scoring after a minute. Look at Ange on the side with his hands in his pockets.
Yes,
doing this.
Yes.
Players,
and they can't sleep.
Vicario shouting at people, pointing at people.
Yeah, and the sun goes up at 3 a.m. over there.
Yeah,
there's only like 5 hours of night time, darkness. Did you know that?
No, I do now.
Well, I'm just. This is perfect. Listen to my monotonal drones before you go to sleep. But yeah, there's only 5 hours of light. They're going to get up there. It's going to be what's the temperature? About 7 degrees at the moment. There's going to be Eskimos and igloos. It's not like
tough place to go, Dave. Let's get it in early. It's a tough place to go.
The Arctic Circle on a Tuesday night. Let's see what Messi is made of.
We used to say places like Burnley were a tough game. It was a tough place to go. After they'd won 2 games at home all season.
Yeah.
Tough place.
Yeah.
We go up there and lose 1-0, say it's a tough place to go, and then someone else would say, well, they've only won 2 games at home this season.
What if a bunch of penguins invade the pitch during the first half? What
we could do with that. Break the game up a bit. Break it up a bit. Knock them out of their momentum.
Maybe we'll replace Brennan Johnson with a penguin. Could be more effective.
Yeah. But, we're not going to go into tactics. That's not our bag, is it?
What word did you just say?
Their goal.
Yes.
They're all important. It ain't even an away goal now, is it? It's just their all important goal. What did you think to that? Weak as fuck, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. No one was being assertive in the penalty area. It was all just a bit, it was a mixture of this, that, and the other there, Is this someone from Norway?
And then what really annoyed me after that was that I thought let's go for the 4th. Let's try and really push on him and maybe get a 4th. And it looked as though we just didn't have it in our legs.
Is this our first ever Norwegian viewer?
I don't know. Can you let us know, Harmik?
It sounds Norwegian. Harmik Voskarnian.
Yeah,
there
is a glimpse of hope there next week. Yes, there is. There should be more than a glimpse of hope. We're 3-1 up. Terrible that we're even worried about. Well, really, really concerned.
Well, that's the way we are. Right? Did Chelsea win in the Conference League tonight?
Yeah, I believe they did. They were 2-0 up. Let me have a look. Man United had a good win.
Well, Man United are through, aren't they? I didn't realise they were playing in Bilbao.
Yeah, good win for them. Let's have a look, Dave. Chelsea were 2-0 up at one point. Chelsea won 4-1 away from home.
Oh, that's hard, isn't it? Look, okay, yeah. I stand corrected. Penguins only live in the Southern Hemisphere. I should know that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for letting us know. So overall, Dave.
Yeah.
For this instant reaction after a semi-final, where we all are very calm, aren't we? I suppose it's only half time, isn't it? Let's say that it's only half time.
Yeah.
What's your takeaway? What's your feelings? Your takeaway?
Hang on. Apparently, we're toxic negative.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for doing our job there.
That's our job. It's on the thing. Someone moaned in the comment section after the show this week about, I had to turn this off. It's so negative. It's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
But we're not that negative. What do I think? I think I'm going to be ready for a cliche.
Go on.
Are you ready? The first goal next week is going to be crucial.
Yeah.
How do you like? What do you reckon? Marks out of 10 for a cliche.
Oh, well, that's one of the top ones, isn't it?
It's a good
One of
cliche,
the
isn't
that's
it?
one of the that's one of the first ones that usually get pulled out. I just hope we don't have Ali McCoist on co-coms again. He's dreadful.
Well, there we go. Their players are back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The players are back. We're without 3.
Yeah.
We can point to injuries if we do blow it, can't we? We've got that excuse back up our sleeve now.
Good news.
Like an old, like your grandparents used to put a handkerchief up their sleeve. And can go Madison, Solanke, Bergvall, just in case.
Yeah, and Levy can blame Ange.
Yeah.
And
it's all working out perfectly.
It's working out perfectly. And then, but Ange has taken the club to 2 semi-finals this season.
Yeah.
What was the last season that we got to 2 semi-finals?
Was it the 2 we lost to Arsenal?
No, okay, we played 3 games, but that still counts as 1 semi-final. But it was, but you're right, because we got Watford, I reckon, 1987. I think that was 1987, the last season we got to 2.
And we lost the final and Pleat lost his job.
Well, no, Pleat went for a drive twice, and then he lost his job. Yes, was it straight away. But
absolutely brilliant, Dave, getting to 2 semi-finals is good.
Has taken us to 2 semi-finals, right?
We've been to lots of semi-finals over the past however long.
And the other good thing is that we've got a big game in the league this weekend in April because it's the battle for the worst place Cockney team. All right.
Yeah. Just the thing though, Dave, like we're talking about it. Do you think in 10 years' time or 15 years' time when Ange is retired and he's sitting back and he's talking to his kids or his grandkids and he said, yeah, I won this at Yokohama. I won this somewhere in Australia. And it's Spurs. That season, the season, we might have lost 20 league games. We got to 2 semi-finals.
No.
I'll always remember that.
I'll tell you, no.
Ridiculous, mate.
No. What he's going to say is this. First of all, he's going to say, mate. And then he's going to go, he's the first Australian coach in the Premier League. He is the first Australian coach in the Premier League to win the Manager of the Month trophy twice, 2 months running.
Because he's the only Australian. So it all stems from...
He's the only Australian to take the club to 2 semi-finals in 1 season. He has got plenty to walk away from the job with his hands held high. And when he lands back in Melbourne, because they got nothing to do in Melbourne, when he lands back in Melbourne, there'll be a public holiday in Melbourne. And there'll be a bus for him going down the city centre of Melbourne as they're all cheering and waving their latte machines in the air because they've got nothing else to do.
Jesus wept. Well, put it this way: what kind of teams? Let's talk about West Ham. What sort of team are we going to put out against them?
I think we're going to put out a really good team that's going to play football to a really high standard.
Well, you're going to get Danzo, Davis, Spence.
Yep,
3 definites.
Gray left back.
Gray. Midfield, you're going to be
he's
Star.
I don't think he can play that.
Well, what do you think he's going to play then in that midfield?
Well, he's got a problem there because he ain't got a lot of bums on seats.
Well,
you know who we might be seeing on the weekend?
Go on.
Our 165,000 quid a week loanee signing.
Not Timu.
We could see Timu, and you know who else we might see actually on the weekend?
Go on.
It's only Serge Reguilon. This is what I would do on the weekend. Kingsky, Spence, Reguilon, Tiny Dancer, Davis. Midfield, I'd have who are we gonna have? Sarr, Moore, Gray. Sarr, Moore, Gray. Up top, I would have Werner.
Richie. He's gonna have
No, not Richie. Werner, Odegaard, and Jason Dezelle. That's who I'd start.
Mate, I know it's all about this cup.
Well, of course it is. It's nothing else.
It's all about this cup. I know that.
We're going for the big 20. We're going. Are we on 19?
Yeah, big 2-0 we're going for.
We're going for the big
ultimate 2-0. Smack in the face for me was when Salah literally put a camera phone behind the goal waiting to score.
No, that
against
was a
us and take us
fan. There was a
out.
fan there. It was a supporter. Yeah,
Mate,
he didn't leave
ultimate-
he didn't leave four. He didn't leave 2 phones behind one goal and 2 phones behind another goal, and have his relatives
He
on
only wanted one
standby.
by the
Come
cup,
on,
mate. And like watching it and them just like trying to get everyone a goal. Bring the kit man on. Let's see if we can get him a goal before the
let's
end.
get Ronnie Moran on.
Yeah.
Let's see,
It's
bring
just
him out.
It's just like, come on. But, so Dave, I should be happier than I am.
Why aren't you happy?
Mitigation. No, listen, mitigation. I've got a stinking cold.
You've got a cold.
I feel like crap.
You feel like crap. Did you get up at 5 o'clock this morning to watch this?
No. And we won. I'm happy we won. I really am happy we won.
Are you unhappy I think go on.
Listen, I think I've been so down about the whole. I can't let it slide out how shit we are in the league, and we lost 5-1 at the weekend. And I know we won tonight, which is great. And we're going, and then we've got West Ham, and you're thinking, what are we going to be served up here? I feel so deflated by the whole thing.
Yes.
All I feel is I'm glad we won. That's it. There's no and I think that's terrible. I just cannot change that.
I mean, when the first goal went in, I watched it with my oldest son, and when the first goal went in, we normally hug each other, right?
Yeah.
But the first goal went in, it was bloody. Obviously it was early in the game, and it was early in the morning. I was a bit shruggy. I was a bit tired. I didn't hug it.
Yeah.
Second goal, I think it was a hug. Third goal, there was a hug. I was getting a bit excited. But
the third one,
the final, but their goal has really taken the wind out of us. And as supporters, having gone through the trauma of this season, knowing the flakiness of this team, and frankly, the flakiness of this team going back about 5-6 years, we are worried about what is in front of us, and seeing the players who we kind of need go off injured as well. And their players are back. I'm painting a picture of Cundy O'Hara Sports Bar. I'm painting the gifts and the whatever else, memes that the Gooners will send us. It could be that.
We're going to lose every game for the rest of the season. It doesn't matter anymore. He's right. I get it. But, mate, horrible players, horrible group, horrible manager, horrible chairman. I'm deflated, but I think we'll still get to the final. And you know the script. We beat Man United 3 times this season, mate.
Yeah, you're saying that we'll lose in the final. Is that your prediction?
Well, I'm hoping Bilbao turn it round to a 4-3 win. They win 4-0 at Old Trafford because I'd rather play Bilbao than Man U.
I'd rather play Bilbao, but at the end of the day, look at this. Hang on a minute. Yes.
We should feel like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, truth set you free. Why are we having this conversation? It was the same against Frankfurt.
Bloody annoying.
Well done.
We said we beat Frankfurt though, Dave, didn't we? Well, I did.
Yeah, you did. No, I did as well. So I had a bet we'd win on
penalties. It was Leon who never.
Yeah, and there we go. Look at that. We could finish 17. This is good. This is better. Well done,
This
everybody.
is what we want, yeah.
This is what we need. This is what we need to have. All right? Well done.
Yeah. So,
now,
Dave,
go on, mate.
Go on. No, you go on. I've talked enough.
Okay. Well, I think you've got a cold. You're a bit tired, and you want to go to bed. Yeah. And it's a question that I haven't asked you in a couple of weeks because you haven't been around.
Yeah,
how are you going? Just the final question, and then we'll go. How are you going with that Spurs in the 90s book?
Still haven't started the second chapter yet, Dave, but I'm getting there.
I thought you were in the mid-90s. You told me that.
Well, I'll just pay lip service to you. I just don't want. You keep asking me every week, Dave, and I just forget the lies I make up.
It is not me. It's the millions of our followers around the world. I get, last week I was in the VIP section of this club in Sydney, and Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman came up to me and said, "Love the show. How's Gibbo going with the 90 Spurs?" But I said, I can only ask, guys. I'll ask him this weekend. They said, thanks very much. We'll be tuning in. So,
I
that's what
will
it is.
get it. I will get it read by the end of the season, Dave.
That you've not got long, mate. It's the 2nd of May today, where
Promise.
I am. It's the 2nd of May. Right. I think how am I feeling? Look, I feel a bit deflated. I feel a bit meh. I mean, there's an Arsenal fan in the office. I've been sending him pictures of the Eiffel Tower, and he could be sending me pictures of an igloo. But there we go.
Let's go away, sleep on it, and I'm
Well,
sure
you'll sleep on it.
I'm going to sleep on it. You mull over it all day.
I'm gonna mull of Kantara over it, do some work. Yes.
And I'm sure when we come back on Tuesday night and we've got Leon spurring us on with his endless positivity, we'll be
right. Is that Leon? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be like, right, Thursday we're going to go there. We're going to get the job done. We're going to finish it. We're going to keep it tight.
Yes.
We're going to nick a goal. They're going to have to score 4 to beat us, and they ain't going to do that.
And this time next week, Gibbo.
Yeah.
Me and you, instant reaction.
Yes, buzzing.
Or crying.
Right, I'm going to bang a load of Sudafed in me, a load of Beecham's powders, mate, and I'm going to come back next week with renewed enthusiasm.
And
Promise.
night nurse. Have some night nurse as well. All right.
Promise.
All
right, everyone. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Thanks for watching.